Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Code for episode 139 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and today we have all of our players. We have starting out good. Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. Um, I think I will go ahead and go into a quick recap so we can jump back into things. I'm sure everybody is excited to see how they are doing, and by how they are doing, I can only assume pretty poorly. Uh,
Considering how we
last
left off.
last session, the party had made their way out of the Wise One's parapet, a uh, a ruin in the middle of the Forest of Idunn that caused the magic you cast to turn wild and make many fun, strange effects take place, and also was home to a relic you were seeking to find before a cultist did. Um, you did it, you used it to your own wills, and decided that you would try to make your way out of the forest and back to somewhere more safe to engage if Ing happened to come along. And Ing happened to come along, and you were engaged in combat after a failed attempt at conversation, as Ing tried to uh, say, "Who's there?" basically, and everyone was like, "We'd rather die," and chaos ensued. Um,
And we almost
uh,
did.
and we
Yeah.
almost did. And by almost, I mean Nyx, who was made vulnerable by one of Ing's abilities, took enough damage to drop her to 0 hit points, though that is not the thing that killed her. It was the ring on her finger that took this damage, realized the body was falling unconscious, and just a shock through you that immediately took the lights out instantly. Removing Nyx from this combat at the top, for Fen to notice that she had not just fallen into unconsciousness, tries to get assistance from Keld, who is tunnel vision to get Ing in the dirt, which is what he came here to do. And it seems he was intent on doing it as the man climbed a mountain and punched a bunch of archers in the face and and chased Ing down, um, as the rest of the party slowly started moving in on Ing. Ing could see the writing on the wall, and as a last ditch effort, reached out to his goddess, reached out to where he receives his power from, and through a divine intervention was given the ability to cast 2 spells, one of them amplified, one of them a sending spell, which Keld, you were able to hear basically everything Ing said. The only person who really got a good look at what was
Ooh.
going on, as you were right in front of him. Um, but he sent out a message saying that he's going to die seeing the forest, and that he will see them in whatever comes next. And then requested assistance from his lady, who split the world open, many small portals that each of you fell through. Roshan, the only one who had a chance to try not to fall, but decided, hey, maybe I should join my team. So says the dice, and placed about 500 feet above the center of the Forest of Idunn. You all begin to plummet. And during this time, some of you just sort of brace for impact. Some of you are dead and cannot do anything. And some of you get as many hit points as you can as this beautiful array of colorful trees impacts you. And all of you fall, including Ing, who at the very end tilts his body downward so that he lands head first. And all of you make impacts. Fen trying to use the immovable rod to somehow catch himself and ends up just breaking his body upon it instead of the ground and is now in a branch. Um, did it save his life? Maybe. Unclear. We'll never know. But he lands amongst some branches higher up than the rest of the party as everybody else makes impact to the ground. Keld being the only person conscious. Keld crawls his way over to Nyx and brings her back to life with an undeterminate amount of handful of seconds left on the clock. Nyx is brought back to life with 1 hit point, and basically a daisy chain of everybody giving everybody heals so that everybody is conscious. And you are all together now in the forest. It is beautiful. But this portion of the forest is a lot more dense than the portion you were in, and the trees do not rise straight and have like the vines that swoop through. The trees are bent and kind of lean in strange patterns and strange, almost like wavelengths, some of them that bend and move, with vines that kind of prop out and seem thicker than like your thigh, just these huge, heavy looking vines of many colors. Um, from above, you can see that the places that you all fell through, bits of red light shine through from the setting sun, and you can see slowly the branches move to try and fill in that space, going back to the way it once was, as darkness slowly begins to enter the space. It is beautiful and horrifying here. If there was no context for the space, it would be the most beautiful place you had ever been. There are colorful mosses and mushrooms, and you know that everything here wants you dead. Along with the large, colorful gecko, and you can see the tip of its tail is sort of almost like a glass material. And it kind of splits in a few places, kind of like a broken piece of glass, jagged. And who's being assaulted. It's fine. I got him. He's gone.
Good for you.
Um,
Get him
thanks,
from
guys. Hey, inspiration. You take it. Uh, that's yours. I appreciate the support. Uh, this gecko, this very large gecko, about the size of a person, that is just perched on a tree, looks over at you guys with like wide eyes, and then kind of scuttles a bit more around the tree it's on, and then kind of peeks around instead of being in plain sight. It just it peeks over and looks. This little glass tail sticking out from behind.
So long as it has
Nyx,
no interest in eating us.
unclear.
Hmm?
Nyx, you went from being in the middle of a field to being in the dense center of the Forest of Idunn. You are surrounded by your allies who are in dire straits, but conscious and alive. As you sort of look around, Keld has sort of set up next to you as he had to place the diamond atop your chest to bring you back, which you recognize has happened, that a diamond was used on your person. So you can put the 2 and 2 together. Um, one of your arms and the side of your neck are incredibly stiff, and that could be from the fall. It's possible it could be. And your arm on the other side feels incredibly heavy.
Mm.
Like, the idea of lifting your arm, you realize, is nearing impossible. Um, maybe the ice protected your other one, but this arm seems ruined. Your arm is currently broken. You cannot use anything that requires 2 hands, and you can only hold one item at a time. And as you glance down at your arm for a second and then quickly kind of pull your eyes away as you feel a dizziness begin to take over you, as you see your fingers are not in the normal configuration, as they are bent and twisted. Your fingers are broken. You have disadvantage on sleight of hand and anything that might require like fine hand motion. Uh, you take all of this in for a moment, and your eyes sort of pan over to Keld, who is next to you. He catches your attention from
Mm.
the wheezing breaths that he takes. Keld, you're looking at Nyx, and you see that she's moving, and a wave of relief. kind of pushes the pain down for a moment. And as you continue to look at her and you squint your eyes, she is a blurred image. And you realize that the farther something is away from you, the harder it is to see to a much more frightening degree. Um, your vision is currently blurred. You have disadvantage on sight-based perception and any ranged attacks. And you can hear yourself wheezing. And as you focus in on that, you can feel a terrible pain starting to radiate from your chest as you try to draw in breaths. Kel, you currently have a punctured lung.
Oh, God.
You can only take an action or a bonus action if you happen to find yourself in combat. And if for some reason you are injured in a way that punctures your other lung, we won't be talking. You and I will not be having a conversation anymore, good sir.
Yikes.
But you look at your sister, and because of your vision, you cannot currently see the new addition to her body. It is just a blur of what you know to be your sister. And as you squint and are able to at least focus her face in, is there anything, a look or a feeling, or what is the energy felt or interaction between these siblings as they look at each other? And Nyx, you can see over Keld's shoulder the broken frame of Ing laying there in the dirt, unmoving.
Oh, she's just excited.
Yeah, there's this underlying excitement.
Both of them smiles start to creep up onto the faces, pushing back terrible amounts of pain, but just between the two of you, you did it.
That's a win.
This is a win.
This is a win. And both of you feel that deeply. Fen, you come back to consciousness in a tree. You're kind of like on the tree and this immovable rod that stopped you from going to the ground. You're about 30 feet up from the party, and you're like, and you can feel like parts of your body snapping back into place as this healing magic begins to take hold, which is a strange feeling, which is then immediately overtaken by a pain that is persisting. When you made contact, you can feel just this sharp pain around on your right flank. Fen, you currently have a broken rib. At the beginning of your turns, if you are in combat, you have to make a Constitution saving throw, or you will lose your action and cannot take reactions until your next turn. As you kind of start to take stock of your body, a bit of movement catches your eye, and Jenny lands on your chest and just sits there casually, the only one uninjured, unharmed by this whole encounter, takes a casual seat as you groan and try and get your bearings about you. And as you look down towards where your friends are, you can see that your quiver is hanging from the branch next to you, and all of your arrows have slid out and broken upon impact on the ground. All of your non-magical arrows are broken.
Oof.
As you look down, you see the form of Nana, who is beginning to sit up and beginning to draw deep breaths and take in her situation. Nana, you look around because you keep hearing something, and you're stiff, and you keep looking, and you realize that the sound is not, well, it's not natural. It is the ringing in your ears from this heavy impact. You currently have disadvantage on hearing-based perception checks.
Cool.
As this ringing sort of just ever present in the back of your head, sometimes worse than others, but you know. And you feel a wetness on the side of your face, and you can't see it, but you reach over and touch it, and it is just a terrible gash from like right above your ear all the way down to your chin. You currently have just this huge injury that you're like, if left to its own, what a terrible scar this would be if not dealt with. While you currently have this scar, you have disadvantage on persuasion checks, but advantage on intimidation checks.
Oh, cool.
And you feel that as you started touching it and like with shaky hands, you realize it's like it's been cauterized.
Hmm.
And you remember as you fell through the portal, your face skimmed across the side of it. This isn't an injury from the fall. This is before you did. This is a magical based injury. And so a bit harder to heal, but doable.
Huh.
As you take stock of your situation, looking at sort of this congealed blood on your hand, Roshan, the last one taking stock of their situation, there is a terrible sort of like thumping kind of like pain right at the side of your temple. And you touch it gingerly and can feel that it is swollen and very hot to the touch. Roshan, you have a skull fracture.
Ooh.
It is a Constitution DC 20 check to take an action in combat. It is debilitating if you do anything more than vibes. But as you take this in and try to pull yourself up to your feet, there is a give on one of your legs, and you wince at the pain. You currently have a limp. You have lost 5 feet of movement. It's a DC 10 dexterity check to dash, and if you fail that check, you will fall prone. All right. All of you in this moment. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I think he moans what he thinks is quietly, but his wild magic still lingers, so he's like scream moaning on the ground, and then his arms seem unbroken, so he's gonna cover his mouth and scream moan into his hands.
Oh,
Yeah, it is
buddy.
magically amplifying his voice, and he quickly covers his mouth to try and soften this. All of you are in this space next to the broken body of Ing, who lays there currently unmoving with his staff stabbed into the ground next to him like a flag. What are we doing?
Okay. Head count. Anybody dead?
No.
Good. Good. That's a relief. Okay. Oh, okay. We need to do something about Ing's body. If this place is anything like the valley, then it's going to get bad fast.
You might also need to tend to our bodies.
Speaking of
Oh.
tending to your bodies, I think it's only fair I give you the mechanics of this. To be healed, you will need 2 healing spells of 2nd level or higher to cure your current ailments. Nana, one of yours needs to be a 6th level spell to deal with the scar.
Holy shit. Wow. Well then.
Well,
And that scar is like over the ear. Am I reading that right? Like
It's-
yay abouts?
It goes from like right above your ear here,
Uh-huh.
all the way down kind of the side of the cheek,
Oh,
right below
wow.
the chin.
Gnarly.
It is a nasty magical gash.
Oh boy. Well, at least it's not bleeding.
Yeah,
Actively.
Nana can't see it, so
Nope.
It's
nothing
fine.
to worry about.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll
I
have to
do
update
not
my
have
makeup.
those spell slots left.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Also,
not
as you
surprising.
begin to take stock of your situation, you kind of stand and like some of your bags make a little kashunkus noises, like little
no.
trinkling sounds.
Oh no.
If you had a potion or something contained in a glass jar in your bag that was not the bag of holding, it is broken.
What about magical items that might be made of breakable stuff? if they were not magical?
Is it a glass container?
I mean, I'm looking specifically at the Lantern of Revealing.
She seems to be okay.
Thank
But if you had a potion in your bag, it's gone.
I hate to ask, but how's my pot?
You look at your pot
No.
and it is dented inwards as if somebody took a baseball bat to it.
No!
She looks a little rough.
Not the
We can fix
pot!
it. It's fine.
We can fix that at least.
I also hate to ask, but what about the alchemy jug?
Oh no.
Oh. It's a magical item.
Isn't the alchemy jug in the bag of holding?
It
Isn't that where
might
it
be.
Why wouldn't
it
it
might
be?
be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's-
Let's
it-
say it was there.
honest.
And with a huge jug on his back, let's go.
Yeah, I don't
boys.
see us just carrying that on a backpack
Mhm.
strap.
No.
So it's probably in the
Have
bag
fun.
of holding.
Surely not.
So it's
Mayonnaise.
You
oh
know?
god. It just does mayonnaise now, nothing else.
We don't
Oil.
know what else it does, only mayonnaise. But
Oh,
you
God.
guys are immediately aware of the sounds of rustling and creaks and squawks and chirps. And it is the smell of flowers and damp wood. It all kind of comes clear where you are very quickly.
Ro, I hate to ask, but do you think you're in any condition to be able to start putting up the bubble?
I think Ro maybe once every 10 seconds will make another moan, and he's not going to start putting up the bubble until he can do it without screaming.
Valid.
That makes sense.
And
makes
that
sense.
seems to come to pass pretty quickly as you test this
Okay.
out and are like, all right, I'm in a place where this is doable.
And he'll just like pitifully limp himself over to a tree to sit up, and
Nana will help him over. She's at least not dealing with a limp. So
and starts singing his song, a little, I don't know, maybe concerningly deliriously at points, but he doesn't stop.
oh, your poor head. Oh,
All right. A 10-minute timer has started.
all right.
As soon as Fen makes his way down from the tree, he's gonna inspect Ing's body and see what's on there in the form of things to take from it. He'll probably grab that staff with the intentions of giving it to Roshan later, but sling it over his back for now.
Anybody else going over to deal with the Ing situation?
Oh yeah, immediately. After first ring coming off, going in the bag,
Oh.
never to be seen again.
Beat.
Nyx,
Why are we
you have
pushing
to, you take a deep breath as you realize that your finger bent this way is the one that has the ring on it currently.
Good.
And you would have to reset your finger to pull the ring off.
God!
Hmm.
Oh God! Does she want some help?
The
I
thing
think-
is, if this does even 1 point of damage, I die.
Oh god.
Do you want a good berry? It'll do 1 more point of health.
You know?
Those didn't get destroyed. At least they're salty berries. They can't be
There you go.
broken.
Have a good
Yes.
berry.
I could do that. You know, I have 3 whole spell slots. I could heal myself and do the thing for Ing, so I'll just heal
Do
myself.
But
Okay.
oh boy.
How many times are you healing?
Oh, just the one. So
Okay.
second
I'll-
level.
Okay. I will let that be focused on your fingers, which are probably easier to heal in this moment than your whole arm. So that one's done.
I get a whopping 3, 4, 10, 15 whole health back from that.
Nice.
Okay.
Good.
And because we did so many wild magics last time, I am now using a completely new list. Please roll a
Nice.
D100.
Oh.
Oh God.
As you are now deeper in the forest and things have changed.
Oh,
I love it.
boy.
I went very far away. 98.
Ooh, and then go ahead and roll me a d20.
Oh, shit.
Will do.
Okay.
4.
May
Okay.
the odds be ever in our favor, I guess.
Okay. There seems to be, after you cast this spell and you watch your fingers go tink, tink, tink as they all kind of snap back into place, you,
I hate that.
there's kind of a gentle aura that kind of comes up and then settles on your skin. You don't know what it is, but you're like, it doesn't feel bad. So you feel okay about it. And you rip that ring off your finger and throw it into the bag immediately.
Never coming back.
No, it's going to be a gift for somebody. Just wait.
Anybody want this terrible ring?
Just a ring that kills you? Anybody? Just
Hmm.
They don't
Could make
have
a
to know
gift
that.
of it to Gold Chin Joe.
Well, the person just they have to willingly attune. So, but you know,
Man.
if you got the chops,
Hmm.
at this point,
Well,
it would
Nana's
be
not gonna
Keld,
persuade anybody with that.
Keld, and yeah, Nana. At the current moment, Roshan, as she like helps you over, you have to keep averting your eyes. Like it's a terrible looking injury. Like it's like when you just can't maintain eye contact and you feel bad about it, but you can't. As you're like, yeah, I gotta sing my song now. Thank you.
Gonna sing my song and not talk about how
Oh,
ugly you
no.
are now.
Nana, I can't talk to you right now. Okay, thanks. Um,
Okay.
uh,
Nana's
Keld
not sure
and
why.
Keld and
Isn't he glad?
Fen make their way over to Ing's body. Keld, you would probably get there first, as you're like, he's that lump over there, and I'm on the
Yeah.
ground. Fen slowly has to make his way down the tree with broken ribs, as he slowly makes his way down and sees the remains of his arrows that have just been broken amongst the trees. You make your way over, and I'm going to assume Keld will give you the help action for an investigation check.
19, unless, it should be an advantage, right?
Yeah, you have advantage. I'm assuming that Keld would help you check the body.
Yeah, 19 is the better of the two.
Okay. You both in and kind of clock is ticking as you hear just the rustlings of so many things in this forest. The two of you begin to just basically unceremoniously tear this guy apart to see what he has on his person. Looking at his body, his head caved in terribly and at very much the wrong angle as the top rests near his shoulders. It looks like he has a good few things on his person. He's currently wearing some armor that looks like it took barely anything from the fall, making you feel like this could be a nice set of armor as it is nicely decorated. Uh, he also has a whip at his side that has runes on the handle and a heavy crossbow that also has runes on it, but it looks like it took some damage. The crossbow in its current state is not usable, but you think could be fixed. The whip, fine. It's just a big piece of leather. There is the staff. You also find on his hand a golden ring that has a sort of purple, almost flower-like pattern on the top, and has a satchel on his person that feels pretty full and also makes that sound as if a bunch of glass potion bottles inside were obliterated, but seems to have more stuff in it. You're welcome to start looking through it now or like pick it up and be like, this, we'll take the satchel.
Just gonna
But
take the satchel.
okay. Are you taking this man's armor?
What type of armor is it?
It looks to be scale mail. bit of a heavier armor.
Hmm.
Yeah, he'll probably burn better if
True.
we take the armor from him.
Yeah. So you guys begin the process of taking armor off of a corpse, which has its easier than in ways that are, compared to a living person, and harder in ways compared to a living person. But you begin to take on this. Nyx, you're now sort of in this like middle space as you had to take time to like fix your hand. Is there something you'd like to do?
I'll head over to where they're dealing with Ing. She's just waiting for them to stop messing with the body so she can cast magic on it so that it doesn't corrupt.
Okay.
Just looming over them.
As they are, it takes a hot second to take armor off. Nyx, as you're just watching diligently, you do see just like it almost looks like the ground underneath shifts
Oh no.
and then stops. A gentle shift. There's movement there.
I don't like it.
Maybe you could just take the armor off after we take him back. So we could stop the corruption now. This is taking way too long.
Nyx, can you help us?
With getting it
More
off?
hands would help. Yeah.
I guess. I don't know if I can really use my arms that well. Just looking at both of them.
Oh, no.
Nyx's
I'm
arm
really
just
seeing
kind of
back.
Are they so mad?
I can't lift the one. The other one's
Oh.
really stiff. So
Never mind. Sorry.
What do you need hands
Whoa.
for?
Getting this armor.
Okay, give me a sec. You'll be okay, Ro?
Screams.
Okay. Just
I mean,
Don't move.
Nyx, you could cast your spell and ask everybody to back up for half a second.
technically it's like you're required to leave these pieces of copper on his eyes the whole time, or it stops working.
Guys, don't jostle him.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Why aren't we just going to burn him?
In the middle of the Forest of Idunn, where it will attract every single predator for miles around.
All right, I'm open to notes. I'm just
I'd
big
just
fire
as soon
here
have him
seems
burned, but I
bad.
think that in here, not now. Not while we're like this. If we could face anything without taking a critical hit, then sure, but not now.
all right. If we're bringing him with, then fuck this armor. Then just do what you have to do.
Okay. Just put it back down. I can't really, and on his back really fast.
Yeah, I mean, anyone's welcome to roll like survival or something like that to take stock of the situation.
A 21 to survival.
Okay. Fen, you kind of stand up and like quickly take stock. The forest is so incredibly aware you are here. You see eyes shining in the distance. There's now a family of those geckos that have showed up and are like,
Oh no.
hello?
Yeah.
There
That's why
are
Ro is casting the bubble.
these are like these floating lightning bugs, but they have a beautiful array of colors that move by. And you watch one like land on a leaf, and you watch the leaf smoke a little bit, and then it just kind of floats away from it. And
It's a
you watch
firefly.
the leaf just it does not catch. This is an incredibly lush forest, an incredibly damp, magical forest. You don't know if corruption is already in Ing's body. When it came to Ave, his blood began corrupting immediately, as the flowers that burst forth from the earth. Do you think a fire would attract something? Yes. Have you already attracted something? Yes. And you're hoping that maybe if you were in the bubble at that time, maybe that's not your problem. The fingers crossed on that. But a corrupt body could be an issue. It is a weighing of things. So is it better to burn it now, deal with the possibility of attracting something that might have been attracted anyways, or hoping you're going to beat out the corruption in this scenario and that the body will just lay there? That's your synopsis.
Geckos of unusual size? I don't think they exist.
They're right there.
6 large geckos just watching.
There's a whole
One of them
family of them.
licks
There's a mom and
licks
a dad.
their lips a little bit.
The babies are looking at us like we're food.
It's up to you guys. If you think we should burn it, that's fine. I will just save my energy. I'm okay with it.
I just want the bubble up, and I want to never see him move again. And who knows what sort of wild magic casting any sort of spell on him will summon.
Nix,
Might
what
do
were you
something.
to do?
It's something I could do to. It basically protects bodies from decaying and becoming undead.
Would that encompass the corruption? Would that also prevent the corruption itself from affecting him?
Can I roll to see if I think that it would? Something?
Yeah, you're welcome to roll nature or arcana.
Yeah. 19 for nature.
So, depending on the level of corruption, you think that if Ing was just in the middle of some ordinary forest and you immediately got a hand on him, but you are in a supercharged forest and you already saw movement, you don't know if your spell will work if corruption's already present.
Okay.
It's a toss-up.
Let's just burn him. I'll get the armor off and let's burn him.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Rose, stay
Nana,
put.
fetch the alchemy jug. I can get some oil out of it. We'll
Okay.
burn him with that.
All right. Nana's gonna. Huh.
All right. All of you begin working together quickly as you watch kind of just these shapes in the darkness begin moving in, and the sky incredibly red overhead as it begins to, the leaves begin to knit back into place to block it out. You're still in a position where you can see, but you know that is very close to not being the case, as some of you begin to pull at this armor and you go get the alchemy jug, and Roshan continues to try and get this bubble up as quickly as possible. At one point, you watch as this frog is the best word I can use. A frog, but the fleshy tone of a human skin upon it, and more humanoid eyes, and just like little hands and feet, begins to hop over and harry you as a and this little like human looking frog begins to just like, he's like this big, but just begins to like try and like bite through your shoes. He doesn't seem to be very powerful, but he is currently he's first here and he's doing his best.
I'm waiting for him to go, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
What a nightmare for this abomination. Is anybody keeping an eye out during this?
I can't do anything else, so yeah.
I can't see so good, so probably not.
Held's like, I can't see.
I can see, I can't hear. Well, not as well.
So hopefully
it's
not something super stealthy. Both of you can roll perception, or you can roll
action.
one of you with advantage. Yeah. Those words. You guys know what's going on.
I think you're the more perceptive of the two of us, so I will give you advantage.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's 22.
Okay. Both of you up, heads on a swivel, sort of keeping an eye out. And something that gets your attention, Nix, is it's foliage, something that stands out. as you can see in a mess of many of the branches, is this, it almost looks like shining red thread. Almost has like a gem-like quality to it, but in the shape of many, many, many layers of spiderweb. And you can see the gentle vibration of this thing, and off in a shadowed corner of the trees, you see just like the little glint of too many eyes as something is slowly stalking closer from these webs. We are going to roll some stuff to see what our timeline is by the time this shows up. Roshan is on a set timeline, so we're just going to set it that way. I'm going to roll a luck check, and then I'm going to need anybody who is dealing with the armor to roll, I would say either dexterity or strength. I would take either, as you either are muscling this stuff off or diligently trying to unravel and quickly unsnap things. So you can go ahead and do that. Hey.
Ooh, that's what we like to see.
Nice.
Good, because I got an 8.
Thank God.
All right.
for Keld.
Luck check.
Brute strength.
Okay. With your nat 20, I'll roll the luck check with advantage as well.
Wow. A blessing.
Okay.
I just imagine Fen trying to gently, gingerly take this armor off, and Kel just like grabs it and like pulls it off, like just
Yoink.
Like a
slurps him out of
tablecloth,
it.
just like haha. And
he's already dead. What are you?
It's a magic trick, you know?
You can hear, like, all of you can pick up on Keld, like, wheezing through every breath as he works through this.
buddy.
But focused and determined continues.
Okay.
Nyx, with your mental note on the time, you and Nana are both just kind of like looking at this thing slowly move closer. You think this thing is going to continue its approach unless impeded in some way.
Okay.
The time does not perfectly line up. It's close. If you think you can do something to impede it for a moment, you think you can get everything together if somebody can get a fire going and you guys could run to the bubble and be in. But it needs to be harried first.
Okay.
But it's just the two of you that may
Yeah.
do anything at it.
Okay. All right. So you see that thing too, right?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay. That's good.
Let's see. Is it within 30 feet? How?
You could get it within 30 feet.
Okay. Would I be able to combo create water to have water fall on it and then use shape water to try and freeze them?
Ooh.
Or at least like cause some kind of like frozen wall to try to block them?
One or
There
the
might
other,
be a
I'd
bit of a
take it.
roll involved, but you think you could,
I
if you put
wanna
water
try.
up
Can
high
I
enough.
assist somehow? I don't know how I could, but
No,
Ah.
I don't believe so. Not when it's just Nyx's magic doing a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff.
I just want to create like an ice wall out of some cantrips. And
Cool.
natural ability.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Go ahead and roll me your spellcasting modifier, which I believe is wisdom.
That's +5.
All right.
Oh yeah. That's 14 plus 5 is 19. Okay. Math. Got it.
Can you
Love
tell me how you begin to accomplish this? Tell me what this looks like.
So the create water, it makes it start to rain, and then she just is using shape water to try to, like, she's holding up the, well, not even holding it. She just like has her hands up like this, trying to make the ice magic happen slowly. It's just a little tiny net
Nana
wall.
kind of like tries to help to prop up
Ow,
her
ow, ow,
hands.
ow. Don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
It's broken.
It's broken.
You don't lift it higher.
It's broken. There's obviously a bone like trying to.
Like, what?
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
you kind of cup your hands as they kind of shake in place, one of them struggling to maintain the position as it begins to rain. And you have to clap your hands together, pulling it together into one little space as all of the particles of rain shoot inwards and kind of freeze right between these branches, kind of cutting off the most immediate route for this creature. And there is a high-pitched screech. This thing is not injured in any way, but kind of scampers back on the web, and you get a glance of beautiful ruby-like skin. And by ruby-like, I mean not just color-wise. It is like a walking gem of a spider. Very large.
Oh
But
boy.
it screeches. All of you hear it. Like, and it begins to back up and kind of goes back into the shadows and is going to make its second attempt as Nyx, you begin to try again to, you can't go this way, trying to force it back. And as Ing's skin is now covered in oil, the armor is off, his items on your person, the bubble moments from being ready. You can alight the body, and all of you can shuffle your way. And it is a brilliant light that sets the place ablaze just in this one spot. It illuminates the forest, filling it with shadow and everything you can see in it now. The multitudes
Oh
of
boy.
moving shadows and beings and images.
Fuck.
Something slithers out of view, trying to get away from this light, while something else further away moves closer, and all of you begin to move towards the bubble, making your way. Nyx, you send off one more, like, please back. It's just a water ball to the face of this thing as you grip your arm and run over. All of you gather around Roshan, and a shine encapsulates all of you. Roshan, what does the outside of the bubble look like?
I don't think it's as pristine as it usually is. It usually tries to make it blend in with the surroundings, but pulsing headache aside, it's functional. Looks like ground-ish.
Okay. You're like, it's kind of a slap job, but at this point,
Yeah.
it's just the function of the bubble that we're here for today.
Mhm.
And all of
And
you, for a moment, go ahead.
I rolled a 36 for bubble magic. If I needed to.
Yes. Oh
Bring
my
it down.
gosh. Thank you. Roll a
Boy.
36.
Okay.
Yep. I know how
Roll a
much you
D.
love wild magic, so.
I
And
love
now that
wild
we're
magic.
all inside and can't escape.
Can you roll me a D20 for what happens in the middle of this bubble?
Yes. A 10.
10.
What does it mean?
And Roshan, the damp smell of the forest and these flowers and the blood in the air, all of that smell just goes away. Scent at this moment, no longer a problem for you, as you cannot smell.
Oh.
Great. Love it.
You're like, this bubble efficient. And all of you take there's like a slip of, like, slack of the shoulders and a sigh of relief. Keld is like just this
A
kind of
wheeze.
gasp for air.
Buddy.
And all of you just kind of meld into this spot. You have 8 hours.
Thank you, Roshan. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right, let's take stock. I've got a ringing in my ears. I don't know if anybody else has, but I'm assuming that's just me.
You've
Anybody
got
else got
you've got worse than that.
my what? I mean, I've got some blood on my face.
You
Mm.
you must have hit your face terribly. You look wounded, badly wounded. Are you all right?
I mean, it's not bleeding now. This is all it's old, or congealed at least.
Surely it's
I mean,
something
I'm
we can
assuming it
tend to
hurts,
once
but
we've rested.
I'm not trying to alarm you, but it's something we should see after.
okay. All right. Well, what about the rest of you, Roshan? I'd like for you to just sit and rest. You've got a terrible bump on your head. I'd hate for you to take a fall and do any more damage.
I don't think he says anything. I think he just gives a thumbs up.
From him sort of like laying against this tree position, just like a thumbs up from the spot.
Okay, good. Everybody else?
I think we've all got something
got
or
something.
another.
Well, yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, Kel's got a handoff, like what,
and he's blue still.
and he's blue, but
Oh, still
I'm
blue.
comparatively, I'm all right. I'm having a bit trouble breathing, but and I think importantly, I should probably let you know in the fall. Almost all of my arrows are broken.
Mm.
Oh
I need to
no.
I'll need to try to craft some more, but I don't know what wood we can take from here. Does everything look alive, or are there like dead trees or sticks or anything outside? Or
There there are things that no longer, let's say, resemble a living tree, but it becomes something else. There are places where you're like, that was a fallen tree, but it is covered in moss and mushrooms and the movement of bugs within it. It is probably incredibly
Not so.
soft or not the easiest to use.
Yeah.
I've
Dry dead
not
wood.
seen anything resembling flint or anything to nap arrowheads with in any of this wood. If it was even useful, I'm not sure if it's safe. I've got some arrows, and I need a judgment from the DM. Are the corkscrew arrows magical? Or are they
I'm
just
so sorry.
engineered?
I do not think
Oh
the corkscrew arrows
no.
are magical.
Damn.
So I've got 7 arrows.
Oh.
I've still got a knife.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
not as good as I am with my bow, but
okay.
Kukri's
I'll
served us well before. Killed a giant with it.
Yeah. I'll try and take stock of what arrows I had left. I don't know if mine have fared any better than yours, but I'll see if I've any to spare. You'll need them more than I will.
Come morning, how are we gonna get out of here?
I don't even know where we are. Honestly, we're deep in the wood. I'd have to try to see which direction is north to even get some sort of idea. I don't
We'd
know how far
probably
we have
need
to
to.
travel.
I think first
And
order would be to get up a tree, I suppose, see which way out is.
I mean, maybe we could try to step through a tree with Nyx's help, but
That's kind of what
I
I was
don't
hoping
know
you
how
would try.
I don't know how safe that is to do here.
Exactly.
I think that would be the quickest option, potentially.
Safer than trying to walk through the entire forest, potentially.
Most likely.
Or
Okay.
turn ourselves into vapor again and fly, if that seems safer to anyone. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, we've
Just
got
want to get some
options.
ideas.
Right. Options are all we need right now. We'll make a decision once we've everything on the table. We need to dress our hurts. Next, I know you've got a broken arm, and that looks bad. So let's try and fix that up. And Keld, you sound bad.
I feel bad.
Yeah. Okay. So, what kind of I'm hesitant to consider doing more healing magic right now, in case there's something dangerous that happens as a result, but
I mean, if we think we can make it until morning, we'll have more energy then.
I think the best idea is to, if you can get us out of here by tree somewhere outside of town, don't want to sully our good, well, whatever reputation we have in that town, by coming in the town square looking like absolute dog shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But somewhere close, please.
Yeah, if possible.
There are plenty of trees along the path right outside of the town. We could go with one of them.
Okay,
All right.
so much the better. Okay.
All right. As you all set a hesitant game plan of surviving the 8 hours in the bubble, if you need more, then there will be talk later. But planning on persuading a tree to allow you passage to casually walk back home, and after returning home, healing your wounds and walking into town like nothing even happened. And with that, we're going to take our 10-minute break. Thank you guys for being here. Go get a snack and a drink, and we will see you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Ten.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 139 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. The party assessing their situation in the middle of the forest, badly injured, and heavily surrounded by terrible things, including people-skinned frogs and ruby spiders and whatever else has not arrived on the scene yet to see what made all the loud noise and made all this bright fire. But you are all currently safe inside of this bubble. And by this point, you watch as the last few branches, at least 100 feet, maybe more, probably more, overhead, close up that last bit of gaps that were made with your bodies as you fell through the air. Anybody who is proficient in either nature or survival, I'll also take half proficiencies. I'll also take I'm tempted to no. Wow, there's no good one for the thing I want. So that's all I'm giving. So there. Nothing else really works. I'd take Arcana too, I guess. Yeah, I think all those things make sense to me.
Roshan's got a TBI and rolled a 2. Plus 11 is 13, but
Fen got a 29 to survival. Bless you.
Thanks. Hey guys, I've been sick for like a week and it like won't go away, but like, hey, you give us some time, am I right? Shout out to you, Lisa. Lisa, in my texts, have you gone to the doctor? Not yet. Not important. Anywho, well, you guys are in the middle of it. You got a 29.
29 survival, yes.
Fen, as you kind of sit down and kind of drop the satchel next to you and just the sound of broken glass and a bunch of other things shuffling around, you look up at the slowly moving branches as they take away the last bit of light. And you realize that you don't think that lines up. The amount of light that you were looking at overhead is later than it should be. It is darker than it should be.
So, just something. Keld, how long were all of us unconscious?
Would I have an idea of how long?
You'd have a solid idea of about 6 seconds.
Not very long.
Okay, we seem to have lost time. It seems, I mean, I know we're all very tired and wounded. But the sun was high in the sky when we were fighting Ing. And it seems to be set now. Timeline doesn't
This place
line
is
up.
strange. Maybe it's messing with time.
Well, the Valley of Odin wasn't like that. Not that this place necessarily has to be the same, but that's... Is that possible?
It's still on the face of the world, right? The sun should still maintain its position.
I'll give it some thought tonight, but we all need to get to sleep.
Yeah.
If if the bubble goes down and we're still not rested,
We're in trouble.
we're screwed. So
Yeah.
Agreed.
let's table that until tomorrow. Maybe some more. Maybe we can see some things during the night. But I don't want to make commands. But Nana, go to bed. Keld,
Me?
Nyx, go to bed. Get some rest. Ben, can you stay up with me and we'll just keep first watch.
Yeah, I'll stay up with you, make sure everything is all right. Then I'll try to get some rest and then wake up early and help you with the rest of it unless I'm needed to stay up longer. Nana, how many arrows do you have?
How many arrows do Nana have? She didn't have any magic ones.
I mean, it was very specific in the roll that I break something of Fenn's. That was something he
see.
rolled.
I see.
If you had some arrows, then you probably still have them. I do not keep track of that, of how many arrows you might have on your person, but you don't use them.
Not nearly as often, no. Like I've used maybe 5, 6 total since I filled the quiver, if that.
Would Nana have replenished because she has not used an arrow since?
I mean, I think that she probably topped up to like full capacity of her quiver the last time she was shopping for necessaries, but it wouldn't have been many. It would have been like maybe 5, if that. So she's,
Okay.
I think, looking at
She has
50.
5 arrows.
Is that right? No. Okay.
All right, that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just, while it's on my mind, I'm assuming the ones that Fenn found that had the runes on them in the parapet are magical.
They did not break during the fall.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah,
We haven't
they're
identified them yet, but
No.
all right, just cool. All right, adding 5 arrows to inventory. Thank you. All right, get some rest. Roshan and I will keep an eye on things here and just heal up as much as you can. Recover your recover your energy and.
Okay.
God's Keld, I'm so sorry. Just a glance down at Keld's missing hand.
Yeah.
Like everybody looks bad, but like looking down at Keld not having a hand.
Yeah. Keld's the only one of us who like actually lost a whole limb rather than use thereof.
And you all are pretty acutely aware isn't going to be fixed by a slap of some magic in the morning like everybody else's injuries.
Yeah. That's true.
All of
We'll
you
look into doing something about that once we get back to town.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's all get some rest. Good night, all.
The rest of you begin to kind of find a spot trying to get comfortable. A bit difficult in your current situation, and especially because there is no flat surface where you are. It is just bumps and lumps and damp spots, and it is just a terrible place to try to sleep. But Nyx and Keld, you get comfortable as best you can next to each other, and once again, there's that little smile of, we did it, now we're safe in this bubble. Like there's a moment where you catch each other's eyes and just that energy comes back between the two of you as Ing is burning in the background.
Gonna need to check on that.
That is the second general the two of you have watched die. But you all get comfortable, and the first watch begins with Fen and Roshan. If somebody'd like to give me perception check with advantage, or both of you can roll.
I think Roshan is interested in rolling now because he's heard about these traumatic brain injuries and wants to stay alert. So he'll try and take watch all night.
Okay, each of you are going to roll once then.
9.
What was that, Fen?
26.
Thank God for Fen.
Fen, you remain vigilant and watch as an army of foot-long ants begin to march their way over the bubble, just meandering by, smelling something, but not finding it, and just marching over this weird lump and continuing onwards. As you watch them get down off the bubble and continue walking, the designs on their backs look like screaming human faces. Just very humanoid screaming faces, just casually part of this animal's anatomy as they continue marching their way forward. That's something certainly catching your eye, and this ruby spider that has now set up shop at the edge of its web, just watching where it knows you, like it's looking at you. It knows where you disappeared and just seems to be waiting and watching.
Where's that frog? Is he like pecking around at the end of the bubble?
Oh yeah, he's here. He's a son of a bitch. He like bites at the bubble and he like jumps up against it and like falls onto his back, and his little kind of oddly people legs struggle, and he seems to be an abomination, but at least a not super deadly one as it continues to assault the edge of the bubble, doing its best.
If he's still around, when it seems generally safe, like the line of screaming back ants are gone, Fen probably gets a little frustrated at this stupid frog bumping his head against the bubble. He's gonna step out and he's gonna like soccer corner kick it towards the spider's web. Like he's just gonna get a running start and kick this thing towards that spider's web. And then back into the bubble.
Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. This is vaguely a combat.
Okay, that is a 13 on the die. Saving throw, that'd be a 14. Because my ring is still not back yet. So.
Okay. You run out.
I don't know what the GC is.
Yeah, you run out and punt this thing, and kind of the agitation distracted you for a moment from the fact that your ribs are broken, and then it's just like, and you grip your side, but it's after you've already yoked this frog into the distance. It misses the web, but it does disappear into the forest and is no longer bashing itself against the bubble as you slip back inside.
All right. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have done that. The thing was just pissing me off.
Don't worry about it.
You all are currently sitting there. I don't know if you are interested in your spoils or if that is an endeavor for another time, but Ing's bag is just laying there seductively, slowly dampening as it is full of potions that exploded on it back.
All right, Fen will rifle through that and just make sure there's not one of those stupid turn you into a slime monster collars in there.
Okay. Go ahead and give me investigation.
That's a 9.
Okay. You dig through, and it's difficult because you're trying to avoid broken glass and pushing things aside. And it takes some time. It's just you have to kind of focus on it and lean in. As Roshan with his like 8 is like, I am hypervigilant, keeping an eye out. I've got it. But eventually your hand touches something and it feels like the string of a necklace, and you pull it out and it is just a tiny piece of what was a much larger necklace, a black gem. It is shattered. And there is a moment where like your chest kind of clenches up, because last time you watched these things break, they exploded and made a terrible giant monster, but you don't see that currently happening. You're just looking, both of you see like Fen pulls out this destroyed necklace.
Toss it on the fire just to be safe.
Yeah, unless you think there's anyone we could take it to perhaps figure out how it was made and make them not work?
Probably. I think the timeline for such a weapon or strategy could easily outstretch the time we have allotted to stick our swords in Bosch, but I suppose it's a good thought.
I don't think it's going to do us any more harm in the condition that it's in. So maybe Ember could figure it out. We could post it to her or something and see if you think it's safe to keep here with us.
It's not doing anything now. I'm worried about when we get out of the forest and whatever normal corruption may take place. Maybe I'll spend some time cleaning out this bag. Maybe burn the bag itself, just to make sure that no trace of corruption comes back with us.
All right, that'll work. Save whatever broken glass you can find. It could work as caltrops or something like that to sprinkle it behind us to make sure we're not followed in some instance, but obviously don't risk anything.
Okay.
Okay. Roshan, you're going to spend your time doing watch and kind of organizing this bag and putting things into the bag of holding, that kind of scenario?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I'll go ahead and give you stock of your situation, just so you have it and then can identify when you feel safe, or identify right now and just kind of, live on the edge. Up to you. But inside, around like the larger pieces of glass that you're able to kind of pick up and put to the side to save, there are some normal everyday bits and bobs: rations, rope. There's a nice bar of soap in there that looks like it fell from a great height. So if you would just want pieces of soap, you got it. You find two individual bags. Both of them have 50 platinum pieces in them. They seem separate from another more personalized satchel of money that has 130 gold pieces in it, 57 silver pieces, and 13 copper. So there's 3 different kind of bags of currency. You also find a satin-like bag full of gems. Just, it almost has a collector's energy to it, the way that these have been saved in this place. And off the top of your head, you think there's probably like 3,000 gold worth of gems in this bag. It is a hefty number and some nice looking gems.
Question: is there any jade?
Is there any jade? I think there actually isn't, because I have all of them written down. There's no jade.
Great.
I'll give you the individual list later if any of that matters, but nothing like that catches your interest. You see there are a couple like sturdy cases, like well-crafted boxes. There is a letter that looks like it is nearly completely soaked through with potions. There is an amulet depicting a woman on it who seems to be like sleeping peacefully in her body. Her shape looks like mountains, so she looks like a sleeping mountain range. And you also find a sturdy tome that seems to have not been marred in any way from the fall.
Oh, and Fen would have absolutely taken that opportunity to give Ing's staff to Roshan. I'm not sure if this is something you want to keep, or if someone else is better suited to wield it, or if it's just something we want to sell. But for now, I think it's best with you.
Yeah, there's a great many items that I'll take a look at tomorrow.
I'm not suggesting we identify anything that we've got while we're here, but at some point down the line, it could be. It's probably no fog staff, but it might be useful in some way.
Perhaps.
Roshan, you can also roll religion as you kind of turn the amulet over in your hands, and the staff and the armor are also kind of placed around your piles. And this ring is also set next to you, so you have the whole shebang.
That's an 11. Roshan is rolling like crap today.
It'd
In
be
fairness,
like that.
he does have a skull fracture.
He does have a skull
Yeah.
fracture,
True.
which seems like one of the worst options on the list. From what I was looking at, that DC 20 save is wild.
Let's give traumatic brain injury to the smart member of our party.
Yeah.
Thanks. Cool. Wonderful.
But you look at it and you're like, this is a later me situation, and I know I can
Yeah.
figure it out. But you can store everything easily into the bag of holding and hand over the remains of this satchel to be thrown into the fire when a chance presents itself to do so. And Fen, after you've thrown this into the fire and are once again kind of taking watch back up, places where you had tread, places where you like crushed a bunch of grass, especially on impact, you are watching it rapidly come back into average place. It seems to be just moving quickly. And it's fixed at an expedient pace. And as you sort of take all of that in, the first watch is over. Are you taking this watch again, Fen, or are you going to sleep? Because that was 2 hours.
Roshan, would you prefer I stay up with you now, or would you like me to sleep?
Whichever's easiest. I was planning on letting Nyx sleep.
Yeah,
She looks
I mean,
rough.
I think you'll be on your own for 4 hours while I meditate. Would you rather I meditate now for 4 hours and then I'm up with you 2 hours early, or would you rather me stick with you now? Because I'm coming to fear that time might be working a bit differently here. It might just be the recovery of the vegetation due to the magic of this place, but with the sun setting sooner than it did, and look at everywhere that we've trodden, all the vegetation, the grass that we've crushed, it's all grown back. I don't know if we can full rest here. At least not in the time that we've allotted to ourselves.
Well, then you should get whatever rest you can. I'll wake Nana to take another watch with me.
No, let everyone sleep. If you see anything, wake me. But but let everyone get their rest. We need as many people rested and recovered as possible.
Okay.
Okay. Roshan Fen lays down and begins his meditation. Are you going to wake anybody up?
No, I think he'll take the advice. He trusts his bubble.
I don't trust my eyes, but I trust this bubble.
I trust magic.
Yeah.
Here it's open.
You
Go ahead and give me
trust magic in the
another
place where
perception
magic
check.
is gonna...
This one slightly better, a 15.
Okay. You sit looking around. This fire is beginning to slow a bit, beginning to be on the out. And you are just, it's like being in a terrarium in a terrarium. You are in a safe little spot and you are watching so many things happen. Things that may be deadly, things that might not be. You have no way of really knowing. You watch a centipede about 10 feet long make its way across the trees, and its legs look like little human fingers. Just little human fingers skittering across the trees. And just so much movement in the shadows around you. And near the end of this second watch, you watch as what looks like a huge lunar moth, wingspan of about 5 feet, 5 to 6 feet, slowly makes its way over, lands on the bubble, and then kind of slumps in place.
Mm.
And seems to just remain there.
As much as Roshan loves to look at the underside of bugs,
Cool bug.
he kind of does hope that Red Ruby Spider sees a delicious snack and wants to be interested in it.
Spider just starts making webs around your bubble. Like, this is pretty cool.
Hey,
Cool
don't.
bubble.
Not that way.
Not like that.
I know I said it, but please don't. Okay. That watch comes to an end seemingly without any issue. You're going to not have Fen for 2 more hours. Are you waking anybody else up, or are you in it?
No, I think he feels safe again. It's totally safe in
Okay.
here. We're in a terrarium.
You're in a safe, fancy terrarium.
Don't mind the giant fuzzy moth feet.
Yeah, don't mind the
Yeah.
cute little moth, just who has found a beautiful place to transpire. And you continue your watch. Give me a perception check.
A 16.
Okay.
I still haven't rolled above a 10, I think, this game.
What's going on?
It be like that sometimes.
Skull fracture.
My skull is broken. And just girly things.
Look, fire, skull broken.
Roshan, your eyes just kind of wander occasionally, and you have to like bring focus back in. Even though you don't need to sleep, being so incredibly injured makes not sleeping much more awful. You're not having a good time, but at least you have something to watch. At least the world is interesting around you.
It's like old-timey TV.
Yeah, look at it's. We invented TV here this day. Roshan's like, what if I made like a bubble that had pictures in it and you could watch them? He stores that away in his little notebook.
Yeah.
Like a portable scry.
About halfway into your third watch now, as you kind of skim around and have to try and maintain focus, you see that spider and you kind of shake your head at it. It doesn't seem to make a move towards the moth. It seems to be in a bit of a hidden spot where it is just lurking. and waiting. Dead moth means nothing to this spider. And as you look to the spider, and you look to the side, there's something on the ground about 10 feet away from the bubble. And you kind of edge forward to get a look, and you have like the last dying lights of a burning body to get a glance at it. It's a little basket.
Just a nondescript little basket just sitting there.
Yeah, it looks like a picnic basket.
That's a cursed picnic basket. I do not trust that. But he will sketch it in his notebook, and that'll be a fun, creepy story to tell all the camp children if he makes it ever back home.
Yikes.
Boy, we're gonna have some good stories when we make it back to that campfire. I'm telling you guys.
Boy, howdy.
Hey, Erling, have you ever heard the time? Did Uncle Roshan ever tell you the time?
I saw a
boy.
picnic basket in the woods.
It was the
no.
devil's picnic basket,
It
straight
was-
from
It
hell.
sure was.
The devil's basket.
You ever heard about going to
Roshan?
hell? That's the handbasket you go in.
This basket sits there the whole time, unmoving, as a basket normally would.
Haunting.
Sits there in the firelight that reflects long shadows past it. But
There's a
you kind
minute.
of look, and it looks like it has like a bit of fabric around the edges. Like it's a decent looking little picnic basket, and you don't know how it got there. You have no idea, and you don't know why. But there's a picnic basket there, and eventually that cycle comes to an end. And Fen is up.
Roshan will whisper to Fen, "There's a creepy new skit."
Oh, that's pretty cool. Cool and good.
Both of you staring horror-filled eyes at a picnic basket just sitting there on the ground.
Glad there's a basket there, just in case we wanted to have wine and cheese or something.
Or something.
All right.
Now the question is, do we tell Nyx? Because she'll grab it before we leave.
We
Oh, no.
absolutely cannot tell Nyx that there's a basket. I am
Learning.
Did you burn the bag? Did you burn the bag?
Yeah.
Damn it! I was going to throw it over the basket so that Nick couldn't see the basket. All right. We
Like she doesn't have object permanence and wouldn't be able to see something under it.
I mean,
normally the worst thing that happens when this bubble bursts is that everyone gets snow on them if I forget to brush the snow off beforehand. But we have a moth and who knows what else outside there. We've got a limited amount of time to decide what we're going to do about it, and I think it comes down to you and I decide what we need to do when we need to wake everyone up. Well, we need to make sure that they've got their full rest and that they're healed and at their full capacity, but we're not going to have much time to react when this bubble bursts. What do you want to do, Roshan?
I think we should wake everyone up just a few minutes early. Let them get a full rest. Tell them to gather their things, because as soon as it's gone, we're leaving.
How have you been keeping track of time? Because usually I watch the stars and the moon in the sky, and that's kind of how I know when time has passed. I kind of just got a sense for it, but I don't know how to do that when I can't see the sky.
Partly I base it on everyone's sleep cycles. When people get tired during watches, I know it's time for them to go back to sleep.
All
But
right.
with just us, the rest of them, they can wake up just a little while early and still feel the benefits of this rest. But we'll keep it quiet for, well, a few minutes until the bubble pops.
All right. That's fine then. I'll be ready for our arachnid friend to protect Nyx while she does what she has to do after we wake her up. How are you feeling? Are you feeling rested? Am I feeling rested, DM?
Yeah, you've had a long rest.
Cool. I
Nice.
love that. Love that for me.
You still have all of your stated injuries. Your lungs still, your rib still feels awful, but everything else, right as rain.
Yeah, it used to feeling like shit, but feeling like shit at 81 hit points instead of 13 is a lot
Yeah.
better. So
Yeah. You feel like shit, but sturdy.
yeah,
You could
sturdy
take another
shit.
broken rib. But as you both prepare for what need to be done, and Roshan, as you can kind of gauge based on also your connection to the bubble and the magic there, you're like, all right, let me gather my stuff and put it all away.
And
You
he'll
get
help pack other people's stuff up too. Like if he sees other people's things, he'll just politely put it into their packs and give them as much sleep as they can get.
okay. As you all are, prepping for your hopeful departure, Fen, you're kind of skimming the perimeter and you see something move, and the pattern is like that of a snake, something moving low and slithering by. And as you kind of focus in on it, it is just completely comprised of bone. There's no skin or sinew or anything else atop this snake as it moves through and around, just right at the edge of your sight, moving through the forest. And you keep an eye in that direction as Roshan has started packing people's bags, and it gets to a point where you're like, okay, everybody, good morning. We're gonna have to move really fast in a minute. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're ready for a hot exit. Do not panic.
awesome.
Everything's going to be just fine. I hope you can cast spells, Nyx, because otherwise we're going to bonk right into a tree.
Yeah. At this time, I'm gonna say all of you have had a long rest. Nyx, there's a basket sitting outside the bubble.
Nyx,
Did you guys
no,
put that out
no,
there?
no, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I just asked if you put it there.
No, we didn't put it there. We don't know where it came from. It's probably dangerous. Don't fucking touch it.
A little
It appeared
picnic
in the middle
basket.
of the night.
Question for the DM:
That sounds
is
terrible.
my ring back at this point because I've had a long rest?
Yes.
Is it? Second question: is it dawn?
Are you able to tell that innately?
Oh, I want to know if the gray bag of tricks is refreshed.
Yes.
Okay,
Huh.
thank you.
So it
Yes.
is a dawn then.
At least.
Yeah, Nyx, everybody keeps telling you not to touch it. It's about 10 feet from the bubble.
Fuck.
And it's like a picnic basket, and everyone immediately just started yelling at you, don't touch it. But it is up to you what advice you feel
will
like
not
following
learn.
on this beautiful day.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I
Oh,
can't hear
no.
you, Nyx. Maybe for the best.
No, I was,
Oh.
clicking things, so I
Right.
muted myself.
Mm.
Spells, it's a whole thing. Since her arm is broken and the other one doesn't move well, she's not going to bother because she'd have to get someone else to pick it up anyway.
You have the ability to hold one object at a time. You don't have to, but you realize you
temptation.
could.
The temptation.
Uh,
I feel like it's just as likely to be. I've heard about creatures that mimic the appearance of treasure chests and they hide themselves in dungeons and eat people when they go to pick the lock. That's what that seems like for this place.
There's just a picnic
It's
basket
just
sitting
a
on the ground.
basket, though.
It's a mimic
I
basket, I
remember-
tell ya.
I remember Ave telling us about those things. I thought he was lying, but I do not trust anything in this forest.
Well, just
And
throw a
I-
rock at it or something and see what happens. If it's a basket, it'll just fall over.
Why don't we just leave? Why don't we leave? Well, I'll buy you a picnic basket. We found lots of money in Ing's possession.
How much?
When we get back to town,
Are you saying we can have a picnic?
we can have a picnic when we get back to town.
You guys
I
could have a
want it to
picnic
be-
right now.
I want it to be a
in the
bigger
orchard.
basket than that one, then.
I'll buy you a bigger basket. I'll
Okay.
weave it myself.
All right.
Hell yeah. This is
Later.
compensation.
I accept the
This-
trade.
This basket sits unmoving as a basket would
Mhm.
in the middle of the forest,
You can't trick us, DM.
but nobody goes to open the basket, which looks like a basket.
Sure does.
Stop shaming us for our decisions.
Yeah.
There's no shame. I'm just telling you, you're not going to get to the basket that looked like a basket.
I mean, I, as a player, would love to do that, but Nana,
Yeah.
no,
See,
no.
the last thing I took was bad. The last
I
random
mean-
item. So,
Mhm. That's true. It did kill you.
yeah. Give me like
I
Literally
24
did
hours.
kill you.
Give me
I
one more
will-
day and I'll pick up
I
anything
will-
again.
Go harvest some wicker, and I will make you a nice basket.
I think we can definitely work together on that. In the meantime, let's attempt to leave this place in one piece, if possible.
Yes.
Roshan instructs everyone as he feels the magic of the tent waning and
Oh.
says, "All right, grab your gear. Hopefully, Luna leaves, and who knows? Maybe she wants to come with us. We'll
Isn't
see."
there a tree in the bubble. We don't even have to wait for it to go away. I could just open it on this tree,
Oh,
right? It's right here. Why would I wait?
that's
I
true.
suppose.
While
That
the
works.
bubble, while
Yeah,
this happens,
Roshan-
and while the bubble drops, Nana, right there, Ruby Spider, you watch the Ruby Spider. I will watch the bone snakes that slithered off there. If
Oh,
anything,
God.
those are the
Bones?
things. Those are our responsible. There's a bone snake. Snakes are generally adorable. This one is not.
That sounds great.
It does. It sounds super cool.
Just trying to
but,
find it.
No.
You skim the horizon. Go ahead, give me a perception check, Nick,
Oh boy.
as you look for the bone snake.
It's a really good roll too.
Oh no. Nana's just keeping an eye on
25?
Oh yeah, you were
Of
told there's a
course.
bone snake, and you see about a solid 40 feet off,
Christ.
moving and kind of slowly weaving through the trees, a snake made of bone that just seems very interested in this spot.
Oh no.
I mean, is it a snake skeleton or is it a snake made of human bone?
This
I mean,
place
you'd
could
have to,
be
if you want to go out and examine it up close, you guys are welcome to. It looks like a snake skeleton, but you know, there could be some people bones in there.
Do you
unclear.
think I
Okay.
can turn into that?
Seen weird.
Nix is like, hold on, guys, inspiration. I'm the bone
Inspiration
snake.
strikes.
You know?
Once we get through the tree, I'll try. Once we get through the tree. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
All right,
Once
that
we're
sounds
out.
like a plan. Yeah.
Mhm.
Again,
Nix
snakes
excitedly
are
talks
awesome. I
about
love
the
snakes.
snake, but ignores once again the beautiful basket, and it shall be left as Roshan motions that it's time. And
Okay.
Okay.
Nix, you place a hand against the tree. What does it look like when you cast this spell for a nice walk through to another tree?
With normal trees, it kind of just looks like the outline of a door starts to
Mhm.
glow coming out of it, and then the full image of the place I'm going to is visible. We can walk through. So hopefully that's what it looks like.
And Roshan, to be safe as you watch the light begin to illuminate on the tree, because you're not sure if your bubble will deter the magic, you kind of drop in unison as kind of just like and this is what we're doing now. As the bubble drops and the moth corpse flutters down slowly, and everyone has to kind of like push past it as you all run through this portal that opens. The thing is different than normal Nyx you pick up on is everybody runs through quickly, but you're used to it, so you can see it. It looks like the tree is trying to change that. It is trying to fix it. The tree feels something is wrong, and you get the sense that the tree is like, no, but is not strong enough to push your magic down and away as this portal opens. And all of you hear the immediate rustle of many things around. This bone snake immediately just starts zooming towards your direction as all of you push forward and quickly jump through this tree one by one, and are next to a snowy road. Snow falls gingerly from the sky. Go ahead and do that for me, Nyx. Snow begins to fall gingerly from the sky. What do we got?
A 3.
And a d20?
18.
3, 18. Okay, interesting. All of you step through and are by the road, and you can see the wall of Jarlsbecker. And the snow falls gently, and it is late afternoon.
What?
But you all are here and safe as the portal closes behind you, and there's just a glance of this snake as it makes its way rapidly towards you. But and Nyx drops the spell, taking 1 second off of it. And you all currently stand outside of Jarlsbecker, still looking like shit, but no longer in the forest.
Thank the gods.
All right, let's lay out some healing spells.
All
Please,
right.
Yes, this ringing in my ear is really
Everyone
doing a number
needs
on me.
2 spells, a second level and higher, except Nyx, who only needs 1 now, and one of Nana's has to be a level 6, something like heal. So
You're gonna have to wait for tomorrow for that one.
Yeah, it's fine.
Roshan, hold still. And Fenn's gonna drop a couple of second level cure wounds on Roshan.
okay. Healing numbers aren't important. You guys are at full hit points, so it's okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Yep. So
Yeah. If I use mass cure wounds, does that cover everybody that's in that little circle for something? It's up to 6 creatures.
listen here, you little shit.
I prepared it just in case it did work.
Roll with your spellcasting modifier, and we will use that as our beacon. If it is something that needs to be a very specified spell pointed at one person, or if you are welcome to share the wealth.
Okay. That's pretty bad. So an 11.
You think you might need to be more pinpointed.
That's fine.
As annoying as that might be. So Roshan is healed.
Okay, so it is just 1 healing spell per thing.
Yeah, that seems to be
Okay.
the vibe.
Roshan will then, in quick succession, he'll give Fen and Nana and Held a second level healing word.
Okay, 1 for Keld, 1 for Fen, and 1 for Nana. Nana can't have another one today. That'll work without heal. So currently, Keld needs 1 more. Nyx needs 1 more. Fen needs 1 more.
I can cover all 3 of those with my second level spells.
What?
Okay.
Sweet.
And I'll make sure to put the bone closer in place before I cast that on myself. That's
Yeah, good
You-
idea.
You wrap a hand around your wrist, and as you cast, snap it back into place to try and assist the magic.
This is fun. I trained in medicine. It's fine.
Okay.
Held
okay. It
your
just
vision-
looks very painful.
And your breath come back to you, and for the first time, you can see the details of this ice that is on the side of Nick's face.
Mm.
But besides Nana's terrible magical injury on the side of her face,
It looks at
guys-
She
Nana.
still hasn't seen.
yeah, nobody let Nana see it. It's bad.
You don't want to see.
I mean, I'd appreciate just having some idea, but if you say so.
I mean, Nana, you can feel it. You're like, yeah, it's in
Feels
this
pretty
space.
big.
What do we need to
Um,
heal it?
You need a 6th level healing spell.
Which I can do tomorrow if she wants.
Maybe you like it. It's
Yeah, maybe you should look at it, see if you like it first, and then we can talk about it tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
it's definitely threatening.
Threatening. Really? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And weren't you
bad?
talking about how you wanted to have more scars from things anyway? And there you go.
Well, I did wish for that, didn't I?
A gift.
Oh. I'm
Um,
not sure I'm thrilled about it, but we'll see tomorrow, I guess.
You've kind of, sort of. I mean, Gorbjorn had a scar. Broshon's got his tattoos. I've got my stripes. Nyx has got her things, and Keld's got his blotches. You fit in now. You've got something on your face.
I've got something on my face.
Saga had her squiggles from the jellyfish burns, and
That's true.
yeah, you needed something on your face. You're finally there.
Part of people kind of move by and kind of like look you all over and give you like a nod, and their eyes kind of go to Nana and quickly go back to the road as the cart goes by.
Oh,
I didn't say it looked good.
yeah. I'm
Don't
getting-
worry,
I'm getting
Nana,
that
look.
idea.
We'll take care of it.
Okay. That might be good.
Let's get in the city, and somebody can tell us what day it is. Hopefully, there's not been too much time fuckery. I thought it was morning. It feels like morning.
It does
that's
still
not
feel
it.
like morning, but that's definitely not a morning sky. So let's have a look and see how many days we've lost.
Should
So
we
you guys
ask
heading to
Russ,
the
someone
hard
we could
fiddle?
trust?
Probably.
Okay.
I was planning on just seeing a newspaper stand or a paper.
Is there a
boy.
newspaper boy who could
Just
tell me
asking
what day it
somebody.
Is there a town crier?
Yeah. You're welcome to just
Yay, yay.
approach the guards that you have to walk past to get into
Mm.
town.
I think
if
Roshan
you
will,
want to.
and just
Yeah.
what's the date? Been out for a while. A little discombobulated.
Oh, and he talks to you, and he's like, kind of motions to that you guys still kind of look like shit in the sense of like, your clothes and your terribly broken pot, and
No.
you find out that you've lost hours, not
Okay.
days. So it
Wow.
is
Oh,
the
thank
next
God.
day. It is just later in the day.
Mm.
Okay. So we thought it was dawn. It's past dawn, but it's not into the day after.
You have lost a good portion of this day, but
Well, that's not
still
great.
less than a day.
Mm.
Oh shit! I've got to see whether or not that woman who is going to offer me a ticket wanted me to. She wanted me to fight somebody else. I already fought one person. She wanted me to.
Nana, you
interview-
have there are 4 days until the party. So
Okay.
she said you have to get it by the second day. So you have, I believe, 2 days to
2
contact
days
her.
left.
Are you
Well,
feeling up
um,
to fighting someone, Nana?
Well, I'm not dealing with ringing in my ears anymore, so that's an improvement.
That's an improvement.
That might be something for tomorrow.
Maybe.
We want to get your face tended to, right?
Yes, that's
Probably.
Kelp,
Unless
your
Although-
it
hand.
would give me a leg up in a combat. I don't know.
it. Who knows what? I don't know what your patron looks like, but maybe they like a little scary on their side.
I mean, she
I don't know
was
that you
sort
want
of
to go to a
lamenting that I
party.
didn't look very aggressive.
Hmm.
I don't
Well,
know.
this'll do it if. Honestly, Nana, it's hard to look at.
Oh no.
I love you, and it's hard to look at.
Oh gods. Okay.
It-
Well,
Looks like it hurts, Nala.
I mean, does it hurt still?
Honestly, like it feels like, stretched skin on your face, like it's holding
Yeah.
it taut.
Mm.
It doesn't feel good, and there is some pain, but like the appearance of it is much worse than the feel of it. Doesn't hurt that bad, but it seems it's ugly.
I mean, honestly, the looks from the people passing by are hurting a lot more than the scar itself is, so.
Well,
Yeah.
the problem is if we let it sit for more than just tomorrow, the chances are higher that it will parts of it will be permanent.
Okay. Okay.
So
All right. Well,
we can leave that decision up to you.
I'll have a look at it in the mirror tomorrow. I'll probably be steeled for
You can
it
look
by
at it
then,
in the
and I'll
mirror.
make a decision.
You can look at it in the mirror today.
I'm not going to, because it's been a day already, and I thought it was only dawn.
Well, that means we could just get a drink after a shower. Well,
Yeah.
My
Roshan will
bag
snap
is
his
pretty
fingers.
gross too. It's covered in like snail organs, and I don't know if we have a way to fix that.
Oh, God.
Let's get cleaned up first, and then take an evening to off. Do whatever we want. Does that sound okay?
Can we
think
go
that's a
see
good
Corinne?
You can go see
I'm
Kareem.
so hungry.
Yeah. Fen, you look at yourself and are like, maybe I should, get my shit together and bathe, but like Corrine, next on the list.
Yes.
You probably want to get cleaned up before you go to the fancy inn.
Yes.
That's fine. Let's get cleaned up. But if we're gonna go and make fools of ourselves and be drunk, that's a person I'd like to see. That's all. I'm sure that Nix would like to see Russ, but Russ is welcome to come with us.
I don't think he's gonna go to that inn, but
It's not really
he's-
his speed, I don't think, but
He's welcome to. That's fine. It's fine.
let's head back
All of you
to the
begin
inn
your trek
first.
inwards, walking to the inn. A little bit more pep in the step. You've had a night's sleep, though it was uncomfortable. You are healed of most of your injuries that were affecting you physically, except Keld, who is still perpetually affected physically, and Nana only visually affected.
Yeah. About that, actually, I did want to ask if she's still got the hat of disguise. If she wore the hat of disguise, could she obscure the scar?
You could fully hide the scar with magic.
I think Nana's gonna do that just for the walk into town. Because she doesn't want to be the talk of the town with a giant gnarly scar that's hard to look at, in the words of somebody who loves her.
Okay. You put the hat on and you're like, what does my face normally look like? Something like that. And you, everybody can now look at Nana without wincing.
Hey.
It just looked so painful and gnarly. Like, it's like, you should actively be in pain, but
Are
she
you
wasn't.
okay?
She was okay.
Apparently not. I mean, a little, but not that bad.
All of you begin to make your way to the hard fiddle. The snow falls gently. There you see some people who are currently like scooping snow out of the streets, and they're piled up around the sides of buildings, people who are trying to knock it off of roofs and just going about their everyday lives as work has probably just ended for a few people, and night is already around the corner, and you begin to make your way to the hard fiddle. And as you approach, all of you, your eyes are drawn to what you can only assume is what your eyes are meant to be drawn to in this scenario. This is something displayed. This was something meant to be seen, and you are looking at it right now. As you stand in front of the hard fiddle, there is a nude corpse, arms tied together, hanging over the doorframe, toes almost reaching, body a pale white and gray, and in places a dark, unsettling purple, especially around where the ropes are on the skin. It is held in place by a spear, just hanging there. It seems it has not been there too long, as snow has just started to collect on the body. This masculine form, very slender and withered, seems to have been deceased for a few days, but no signs of corruption at this time, as it was hopefully cared for in a way that would prevent that, or maybe it just looks like a lot worse than it is. Long gray hair muddled with dried ichor. It looks like it's blood that has just been matted into the hair. The body is covered in wounds of nearly every variety: blunt force trauma, piercing, magical. This thing is destroyed. This person went through something. And on the face, the only real identifying mark are two runes that kind of bracket the eyes. The rune Jura, like little brackets on either side of the face. And very noticeably, the genitals of this being have been mutilated beyond recognition. This is what greets you as you can hear the sound of a ruckus, an uproar inside of the tavern ahead of you. What are we doing?
Keld's gonna
Keld.
stop in his tracks, just like
Keld stops.
What on earth?
I don't. Let's
Oh,
try asking Russ if he's got any clue what this could mean. Either this was somebody who richly deserved a very dire punishment or didn't deserve a thing. I don't know which is worse.
Keld, help me get him down. This is a disgrace.
don't touch him.
What? You want to leave him here on display? Who?
I mean, he's not a good display, but I think I know who this was.
You do?
I didn't think he was real.
What? Well,
Have you guys heard of Purity's Curse?
Purity's curse. I mean, I have to assume it's probably something native to the East.
I mean, people are welcome to roll history, but it's going to be a relatively high
Pretty
DC.
stiff check, I think. I got a 17.
I got a 19. That's a good roll. I only have a +1.
Nana and Fen, the name sounds familiar. Like it hits something in the back of your brain, but you can't like pull at the threads to get to it. But the name does sound familiar. Keld, your eyes are trained on this body and you recognize it immediately.
I've heard.
Gods, I've heard terrible things about this guy.
Does
Okay.
the name refer to the person or to the markings on him or what?
Well,
And
the markings say Jera.
Okay. But
But everything I've heard about him, it's awful.
okay. Well, if that's the case, maybe we shouldn't be standing out here ogling at him. Let's get inside and Keld, if you could find it in yourself to explain some more.
I don't think we'll need Keld. I'm sure there's somebody inside who's going to be more than willing to tell us about this.
I mean, it could well be one of their catches. Who knows?
And Roshan will head for the door, tired of looking at naked corpse.
It is,
Yeah, with
even
mutilated
knowing
genitals.
that this person seems to be terrible, it is not an easy sight to look at.
No.
It is an unsettling sight. Are all of you
On a
kind of quickly moving in?
Yeah, on a
Yes.
scale of 1 to Nana, how ugly is it?
Rude. Rude
Sorry.
is what that is. Sass
Is that
bark.
Nana?
Rude!
Wow.
I was given a table.
guys.
I was given a table.
Okay, I'm gonna need a mirror a lot sooner than tomorrow, I guess.
I need a
all
mirror
of you-
yesterday.
Hey, Nana's face is messed up, but she still got that ass though. That's canon.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, Nana, it's a butterface situation.
Oh no!
At least until tomorrow, it'll be fine.
Great.
All of you quickly make the choice. We're going inside. We're not going to stare at the body any longer. And it is sort of like opening the door is like popping a bubble to sound. Like the energy and noise from inside was starting to seep through the walls and you could hear it. But opening the door, it is just a cacophony of shouts and hoots and hollers and the sounds of chairs scraping across floors, the sounds of drinks colliding together, people just yelling and chanting. And it's sort of a tableau around three figures in the center who kind of take the focus. If you look at a person, they are looking to the center at these three people. And a fourth person in this tableau being Russ, who is standing at this central table and has extended a hand to a young woman who is stepping up onto a chair and then onto the table. And he's like giving her a casual hand up, and then she kind of like tosses his hand away from her hand once she is fully standing on the table. This young woman has kind of dirty, messy, pale colored hair, kind of leaning in like an off colored tint, kind of leaning tannish, almost green undertones, but still very light. The hair is long and tied in like two itty bitty ponytails, like at the bottom. So it's kind of just this long hair and then just two little at the bottom where the hair is not contained. She is wearing what looks like very intentionally wrapped rags that are intertwined with knickknacks and bits and bobs, and she kind of just moves through the space perpetually making little sounds as feathers and knitted things and just rocks and other things of interest are just attached to her outfit as she stands in the center, kind of a sickly pale look to the skin with some intricate makeup around the eyes. She's very thin and frail looking, and this makeup kind of moves around very kind of big, sort of wide, sort of bug-like eyes. Still human, but just they are just wide and brimming with energy. After Russ assists her onto the table, she holds her hands up to the sky, very like dramatic, and you can see that her nails are painted in a deep black. And you can hear one of the other figures yell, "Hey, babe, paint them a picture, show them what we saw." And she kind of gives a wink out to the group and begins to spin on the table, arms moving around her. As it's like she pulls magic and color through the space and begins to create an image in the air around the tavern that looks like extended shadows of pillars. It looks like the room is full of humongously tall, astronomically imposing pillars. There's just darkness and shadow that fills the space as she begins to paint it. And as she spins, people cheer and are drinking, and the two other figures, these two other women that stand next to the table with her, hoots and hollers, encouraging her to spin and show them. And eventually she stops in the center, and she is approached by one of the other women. And this woman says, "There you go, Maggie, show them our nightmares." And this woman has the head of a bull, long painted horns, one of the horns broken off, and the ears are adorned with like beautiful jewelry, a very curvaceous, feminine, humanoid torso, and then what looks to be a continuation of bull like legs. This figure looks to be wearing a gingham dress of sorts, but is like held in place by heavy armor. And this woman comes up and picks the slender woman up and just sets her on her shoulder. And they laugh and spin as the third woman walks up to the table and extends a hand outwards to Russ, expectantly, like, "And I am also standing on the table, Russ." Russ gets up, kind of like hands up, like, "My bad, sorry," and takes this woman's hand to assist her onto the table. This is a large woman. She has a flop of like very, very dirty blonde hair. It is verging on brown, but there are just like little sun bleached bits. This hair rests atop a scarred face, scars all around it. She is muscular and solid. She is wearing leather armors and these heavy looking gauntlets on her hands. And she is wearing a skirt with slits at the side where muscular thighs have no choice but to be very obviously visible. As she is also, as you can see, all of her counterparts are wearing heels. This woman, tattoos on the arms, where you can also see there are some more scars, these thin scars covering where these runic tattoos lie. She takes Russ's hand in her very strong hand and like she begins to push herself up, adjusts, gets Russ by the face, and fully pushes him back down into his seat to propel herself up onto the table. Russ is just fully goes with it and is pushed into like a slumping kind of like a very like I concede, I have no issue sort of position as he is pushed down. And the thing about these women, so different in appearance and kind of veering outside of like the bubble of normalcy, there is this strong sense of femininity that fills the space and just radiates off of them. Makeup, painted nails, skirts, heels. It's femininity meshed with battle and wear and tear. They are a mix of both and present it very aggressively. Femininity and battle. As this woman steps up onto the table after Rush is pushed down, um, hey, and she smiles. "We are here to earn our drink from Red's daddy's gold. Isn't that right, ladies?" And all of the women go, "Woo!" Just there is this always backing vocals almost after every statement said by any of them that the other two will jump in and hype man. It is just a ever moving triangle of hype.
I love them.
And she stands at the center of the table. "My name is Thor, and I'm going to tell you how I and the ladies killed Purity's curse." And kind of takes like a wide stance on the table, and the women just lose their fucking minds, just screaming as loud as they can. And it's like mixtures of "he's fucking dead, fuck that dick," like it's just it is a cacophony of energy as this woman pronouncing herself as Thor stands before the group. So here's a story real quick for the team, and if good enough, points to Russ, your daddy will pay for our drinks, and goes back to presenting to the group. "We'd been hunting Purity's curse for a while now. He's hard to catch. He's a shadow. He's a menace. He's an idea, feeding on terror and torment and moving through the shadows. And for a while, we thought, hey, are we chasing nothing? No, bitch, we're not chasing nothing. And it's like, no, bitch, not a damn thing. It's just cacophony of backups. And we heard about what happened in Noaten. And we knew that boogeyman would be there. There's no way he would miss out on so many tormented fucking souls. So we pack up our shit, make our way south. And lucky us, we find that guy in the middle of harvesting. We don't know what he does with them. Eats them, makes them into little puppets, makes them dance around. I don't know. But we catch him, we pursue him, we follow him through a sick fucking portal. We all jump through, no hesitation. And we were stuck for 3 years in a demi-plane. Isn't that fucking right, ladies? And there's just a cacophony of woo. And one of the woman with the bull's head, this portal, this demi-plane, which was made from our trauma and fears, manifest to hurt us physically and emotionally. And they go woo, and they all like kind of like snap and clap.
That sounds horrible.
So we fight our greatest fears and our nightmares. There was one point where I was stuck under these huge pillars that were everywhere, these tall, terrible buildings, and nothing else in this guy's little sick plane where he goes to hang out, I guess. And one of them collapsed. I was there for 3 days, but that doesn't matter compared to the 3 years. It's not important. But we were chasing him for 3 years, and he had what do you call it? And the slender woman on the other woman's shoulder. Simulacrums. He had simulacrums. And I was like, he had a bunch of other hymns, and we had to keep putting those in the dirt over and over again. And the thing is, you know, if you keep training somebody for 3 years on how to kill you specifically, eventually they're going to kill you. And it only took 3 fucking years to put all of these little clones in the dirt and finally put this man to rest as so intended for a deathless nightmare monster. She kind of stands up and is sort of like walking the edge of the table, and like each step it like warbles, and she steps in hard to the center. It is just making this kind of rhythmic stepping sound as she moves. And, you know, we had heard about his proclivities. So, and she jumps off the table and lands in front of Russ, and she slams her foot down on the front of the chair between his legs, just right in front of it. Russ does not move. Russ, either unflinching or just not ready in any sense for this to happen, the foot lands against the edge of the chair in front of him. So I stomped on his dick until he didn't have it no more and just kicks his chair as hard as she can. Russ slides backwards a few feet. Every bitch in the place is screaming. There are some people who are wincing, but screaming nonetheless. And after killing him, we were freed. And hey, you know, silver lining, we found out that only a month had really passed. It was 3 years for us, but only a fucking month. So, you know, hey, no lost time, am I right? So after we get out, we decided to go to a party and get shit-faced and turn somebody's pelvises to dust. And we are forever changed. And the other women are like, we are forever fucking changed. And it's just these hoots and hollers. And all 3 of them look to Russ as they have presented their story. And Russ looks to them. Drinks on me! And gets comfortable in his seat. And everyone cheers. And there is just a cacophony of sound as these women make their way to the bar. And Russ turns his head towards the entrance and sees all of you and kind of like cocks an eyebrow. What are we doing?
Keld goes to
Nana's
clap,
just
but
in
realizes
awe.
he can't.
Nana's
Keld-
been
Oh
clapping. Nana's
no!
been clapping. That's terrible, though. I hate that for
Keld clapping a
Keld.
hand on his armor. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Woo! What
Hell
is the
yeah.
sound of one hand clapping? You clap it on your shoulder, bud.
The
Hmm.
gentle sound of metal tinking gently. But the place is full of a terrible energy, and a corpse of a terrible man hangs like a beacon on the outside.
We don't like that.
That's
A
great.
way for 3 women to get themselves some free drinks. um,
What a way.
and what do you guys want to do? What's your first, as you're kind of like at the entrance and starting to like spread in?
Fen wants to
I
look
think-
at the
Russ-
party and see who's clapping. Like, see who's impressed by.
It should be
this.
everybody.
Nana sure is.
I mean, the story is impressive, but also the brutality and kind of grotesque nature of like hanging a corpse as a display is not sitting well with Fen.
I mean,
So he
you
just
were
wants to
sitting in
read
a
the
room.
He wants
Yeah,
to read the
you're-
room.
There's no reason to even roll. You know already this room is full of mercenaries who work for not so great people because they are
Heathens.
here and escorted people to this party. Most of the room is just happy to cheer and drink and does not seem too bothered. Some of them may have not even been outside. You don't know, but
Hmm.
the building as a whole, fine.
All right, and how
We
does
also
Nyx
did
look?
trap
Is
these 3 people in like a demi-plane.
yeah, I got that
For
from the
life.
story that they told. Yeah,
He's
But
a bad
also-
person. As far as
yeah.
we know.
got that. But also, corpses are dangerous and
Yeah.
not something that like you just like thrown around in our world. That's all.
Right. That's
also,
also true.
how does Nyx look to Russ being so involved with the people that are?
Oh, that's normal. There's somebody telling a
Yeah.
story in there. That's expected
Yes.
for him to have been
Cool.
involved.
Hmm.
Cool. Fen's just.
But
reading the
she's
room.
disturbed by the body's state because she has been taught to respect the dead, and that's not okay.
Mm.
Okay,
No.
cool.
So she's
Uh,
kind of
So
iffy about that.
Fen's hoping to pick up on that. That's
Yeah.
that's more what Fen's looking for is.
That's what she's
Yeah.
not liking. So she's gonna go get a drink and then go to
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah. You get a drink, and as
Thanks.
you make your way over, Russ is going to pat his thigh when you come over, so he can wrap his arms around you. He acknowledges, like you can see, he acknowledges the change on your face. Does not say anything. He leans in and like kind of kisses like right in the nook, and is like, so all 3 of them have tickets to the party, so I just thought I'd put that out there.
Look at the 2 people that don't have them.
Hey.
Hell, you could go with one of them.
Yeah,
true.
Keld. I mean, it's gonna be a wild fucking ride, but that is certainly a way in.
Mhm.
And just noise follows these 3 women as they kind of
Mhm.
move about the place and are getting drinks. And they bring an energy, and Russ seems to just like watch them as they move around. See, the thing is, you have to start a bit of a thing where you tell adventurers that you'll pay for their drinks if they tell you what they've been up to. And everybody will tell you what they've been up to. And, you know, you weigh the pros and cons. And this guy was like literally the boogeyman. So, free drinks.
That makes sense.
I
I didn't
think-
think he was real.
While that's going on, I think Roshan grabs a water and a beer and will take it off to a room to start identifying things, and not party about, I don't know, serial killer maybe. Who knows? Whatever.
Roshan, take these arrows.
Sure.
Anything you want identified can be put into the bag of holding, and Roshan takes some drinks and heads his way up. And Russ kind of looks over at Kel. Listen, I would try to introduce you, but you're probably better off doing that on your own if you want to make a move. He looks at Nana and then quickly looks. Well, actually, no, you're not spooky anymore. You just have on a fun hat.
I do have on the fun hat. He doesn't
He
know
looks at
yet.
you and acknowledges your fun hat.
Does he notice Keld's missing hand?
I wonder.
He
Or the fact
does
that he's
not seem
Maybe
to
not
point
yet.
out anybody's. He's not pointing out anything about anybody. He doesn't
Just
point out
taking it
Nyx's
in.
issues. He doesn't point out Keld's issues. But as he's talking, and then eventually when he stops, he does sort of like, there's like a squeeze at your upper arm, Keld, an acknowledgement, but no statement made, as you have entered a space full of merriment and also a repulsion of something macabre sitting outside. And as you are sitting in the middle of this space, that is where we are going to stop for today. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story here at the Dice Cult. We get the stuff and the things going on. If you head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult, you can watch all the past episodes of On the Backs of Gods, figure out how we got here. You can watch our other D&D games, one-shots, Vampire the Masquerade, whatever floats your boat. And if you want to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to keep up with all of us, we are at the Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. Once again, thank you all for being here. We appreciate it and love telling you guys a story. We will be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Good
Thanks
night.
for joining us, cultists. Buy Katie's dice.
Bye.